Yo, what's going on, guys? We are back at it again, except this video is going to be a bit different to the others. For this video, I'm going to be explaining and breaking down how to play Clash Royale. First things first, we got these things called towers. You are supposed to defend your towers while also try and attack your opponent's towers. When you take down your opponent's tower and the timer hits 0, that means that you win. Now, you might be asking yourself, how do I take down my opponent's tower? Well, pretty simple actually. Cards. There are 110 cards for you to choose from in Clash Royale, each with their own unique abilities. Whether it be offense or defense, there's always a card for you. Just so you know, there are no bad cards if you play them well. There are only bad choices and decisions. So the longer you play with a variety of cards and decks, the better you'll get with mastering your gameplay. And I recommend trying to find cards that synergize well with each other. Now to my next stage. Elixir. Each card costs a certain amount of elixir. For instance, a knight costs 3 elixir, a witch costs 5 elixir. But now you might still be wondering, what is elixir? Well, elixir is a type of finance in Clash Royale that you can use to play down cards because, like I said before, each card costs a certain amount of elixir. And if you still don't understand what I was saying, elixir is just juice that helps you play down cards. Keep in mind that your elixir will replenish itself over the rest of the match as well, and also that the max elixir you can have at once is 10. Also, when you're trying to make a deck, try not to make the average elixir cost too high, because then your card cycle will be slow and clunky. And while we're on the topic of decks, I might as well show you how to make a suitable deck. Like I said before, try and find cards that synergize well with each other. For instance, log bait. The whole idea behind log bait is to bait out your opponent's small spells, either going princess at the bridge or gold gang at the river, and then when they do use their small spells, you goblin barrel their tower and get massive damage. Just watch this gameplay. Next up, we have Minor Poison. The whole idea behind Minor Poison is to minor their tower, and if they place any bait cards trying to catch the miner, you can just poison it out, doing damage on the tower and killing the entire bait troop. You can also defend easily with Eye Tower, Royal Delivery Log, and Knight. This is one of the most defensive decks in-game, and I highly recommend starting to play it. Now we are on matchups. One thing you must keep in mind is that you're not going to win every game. Not because you're not good at the game, just because it comes down to the matchups. What are matchups, you may ask? Well, in Clash Royale, you will find that who you are playing against is kind of like a dice roll. And sometimes you can verse decks that you destroy because the matchup is in your favor, or vice versa. So basically, some decks beat other decks. For instance, Splash Yard vs Lumberloon Freeze. It would be in Splash Yard's favor just because Splash Yard has a lot of air defense and the Lumberloon player would have a hard time trying to counter the graveyard with such a clunky deck. Another quick example for you is Lava Hound vs Log Bait. It would be in Lava Hound's favor because the Log Bait player would get way too overwhelmed with air troops that they can't stop because the opponent would fireball or zap their air defense away. This isn't to say that you can't win those bad matchups because you can win and lose any position against any opponent you face. Now we are on positive and negative elixir trades. This is for people who want to take their gameplay and skill to the next level. So let's say I just want to cycle my baby dragon in the back. So then he tries to counter it with archers, so then I poison and graveyard his tower. Right now I have spent 13 elixir and he counters it for 9. That means I am down 4 elixir, which is bad for me and good for him. We now have taken a negative elixir trade. This is what we call negative elixir trades. You obviously don't want to make too many negative elixir trades because your opponent will have more elixir than you, which is basically a guaranteed loss. But there are exceptions where negative elixir trade can benefit you. For instance, so my opponent plays Valk, so I'm just going to Prince here. And a Valk costs 4 elixir and my Prince costs 5 elixir, but I'm getting counter push in return. So even though I played 1 more elixir than him, I do get counter push. and sometimes that can work out for you. We took the -1 elixir trade and we got counter push. This is the best elixir trade possible. It's called a positive elixir trade, so watch closely. So my opponent goes Mega Knight at the bridge, so I'm just going to counter it with 2 elixir with my skeletons and fire spirit. A Mega Knight costs 7 elixir and we just countered it for 2 elixir. Now I can use all that elixir that I gained from it into my offense. We were able to counter 7 elixir with only 2 elixir spent, and we activated King Tower. That's a bonus. Last but not least, elixir management. Using what we've learned about positive and negative elixir trades, you should be a pro by now. But there is one last thing I need to tell you before I go. Try not to overcommit in your big pushes. You don't know what I mean by that as usual, so I'll show you. Okay, I got a Mega Knight on this fire spirit. Okay, now I'm just gonna wall breakers at the bridge. Okay, now he can't stop this. His entire tower is gonna be taken down. Can you see the problem by this? Yes, I do take down his tower, but I don't have any elixir left over on defense. Now look, what do? I don't have any elixir left over. So, look, I'm trying to defend, but I can't. One thing you should also know is that if you can't defend a tower, don't try to. That's another pro tip for you guys. Now look, what do? I might actually get 3 crown because of this. Oh no guys, this is not looking good. He's spamming us right now. What do? We can't stop this. And do you know how this all came to this? Because we overcommitted on 1 push. So, I can't stress enough for you guys. Don't overcommit on 1 push, guys. Try and savor your elixir on defense and on offense. Spend some on offense and make sure you have enough elixir to defend.